Start thinking outside the box. Hey Mom, can you come here? Nail polish for the dyeing.
Well, I mean, you don't know what I'm going to use all this stuff
True.
for. You could be like, ooh, you can use that to paint something, but I don't. I empty it and I turn it into a lamp or something.
That'd be cool.
That's the whole idea of a challenge. You just find some things that you might have something in your mind, and then I turn out with maybe something similar, maybe something completely different. You know, my point was made. All right, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know.
I bid you adieu.
That's my girl. Hi, Sanity Seekers. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. If you like my videos, please consider liking and subscribing, and why not leave me a comment? I would totally appreciate that. All support is completely appreciated. As you can see, my beautiful daughter has scurried around my art room and she has found some bits and pieces for me to do a challenge with. We've got a bathtub and a little rubber ring and a cool clock and some nail polishes, and we will do something with it. But first of all, we need to make a box for our diorama to go in. I've got an old Xbox cover box of the Xbox box that I'm going to make a 3-walled room with. And I've got like a bit of a feature corner here which both keeps it together nice and solid and is going to be a feature. I'm going to do a portal window, like my idea is that it's like a submarine. Nice. And that will be my back wall. I'm going to create a space between the front wall and the very back to create a 3D effect. So this is my little spaces that I'll use to do that. Now I need to make a nice little window for my portal. I think it's called a portal. I must look that up. This is UV resin, cured, and it's going to stick right to the cardboard. I've got a rubber mat underneath there, latex mat, so it won't stick to it, so that's pretty sweet. These are a couple of little fishies, more resin. This is on the back. This will just make it nice and more glassy. We'll push that liquid magic out to the edges nice and neatly and pop a bit of alcohol ink in to colour it. Nice. A couple of little fishies and another go with the UV light, and that is our finished product for the window. Not the window dressing, but the window. Now we're going to do the flooring. I've got this lovely paper which reminds me of bathroom floor tiles, and I like the colours. I'm going for the colours. I'm using some PVA glue on the bottom, and I will go over with the PVA glue to make it a little bit glossy and well and truly stuck. I put way too much acrylic ink on this, but that's fine because it's all good, and I've just scraped some of that back off, but it's still a little bit dirty and messy and aged, and I'm pretty happy with that. Now this is our little feature wall in the corner which acts as extra strength for our box and a feature for the diorama. I've got some more beautiful paper with like a fish scale type design, and I'll treat it much the same as I did the tiles with the PVA glue, but you know, with a lot less acrylic ink there. Now for the bathtub. here I'm using some more alcohol ink because, of course, it's a non-porous surface and alcohol ink is the bomb for that. And let's do the shower head while we're at it. More on the bath with some dabby and some alcohol ink. And back to the back wall then with my silver paint. I love this silver paint. I cannot tell you. It's acrylic ink and it is magnificent. I'm going to go over it with a bit of like iron type spray just to give it a bit of aging and some texture. And okay, that looks pretty cool, but I'm going to cover it up in a minute anyway, so let's ignore that. A little bit more with the dabby and the silver, and back to the bath. Here I am using the nail polish in my challenge repertoire that I have there, and I'm using that on the bath, and it looks really pretty, I feel. Alright, now we've got our pieces, let's get to a bit more detail that I will ignore and cover up later, because that's what we do. Alright, let's construct this guy. We'll pull it together, measure it up, see how it all goes. Got a few extra pieces on the bottom just to give it a bit more weight. Please excuse my camera having a bit of a pulse there. I don't know what it's doing. These are my spaces to keep the front spaced out from the back wall so I can give some depth to my window. And some of these clips are pretty handy while it's gluing. This is a string of fairy lights that I've wound around and I'm going to glue into place around my window so there's some light coming in from outside. And this is just a nice piece of paper that will do for a background for my window. And now we're going to glue in the feature walls and the lights in the gaps. And with the leftover lights, make this funky little ship chandelier. This little piece here is what I will actually cover my window with to make it look cool. That's what I settled on. And I'm happy about it. So lots and lots of glue, putting everything in place. And I feel like it's starting to come together, yeah? That is a pretty cool submarine bathroom. Shell of a bathroom. I'm going to put some of the leftover light in the gaps there and cover up my spaces so it all comes together beautifully. And there's my chandelier, and let's test her out. Nice. Even nicer. That little gap really annoyed me, so I put some little rings in there to fill it because, like, so where's the pipes? It's just weird. These little metal pieces, just in amongst my stash, is what I used for coat, like, towel hangers. And now it's time to start on my octopus. So my idea is that there's an octopus in a submarine having a bath. Because why not, right? There's my octopus head, body head. Head. Let's stick with head. And I need to make some armies. I'm not going to put suckers on this guy. I'm just going to have him like all suckerless. So satisfying, right? And my idea is that I've used some tin foil, some nice thick tin foil to have the shape of the bath because I can't put the bath in the oven because it's plastic. So I'll put my little guy in his position in the tin foil, and then I'll take the tin foil out and put it in the oven. I'm going to do some eyeballs and some texturing, give him that, a whole heap of detail which you probably won't see because I'll cover it up with other stuff. Because that's what we do. So satisfying. I love watching that. Let's pop some eyeballs in to his little octopus eye socket and start shaping his arms. Because he's washing himself and relaxing and, doing what octopi do. And if I can have pieces pressing up against one another, it will give me a little bit of extra strength too, which is nice. Looking sexy. So I got him out and I'm going to cook him. And then he broke. I think what I did wrong was that I tried to move him when he was still warm out of the oven and he just didn't appreciate that at all. Anyway, I've glued him up. He's together again, and as another part of my challenge, I'm using some more nail polish to colour him in. And this will give him some more strength too, which would be nice. I think if I did something like this again, I will put wire or foil or something in his little arms to keep him nice and strong. Now I've given him some spray paint and I'm dripping lots of paint over him, lots of like metallics and what have you, painted his eyes, and he's starting to look like he's been swimming around an awful polluted bit of ocean, which is why he needs the bath. So to save myself some resin, I'm pouring in some salt, and just because I like these beads and I thought they were pretty and I thought they would look cool, I'm putting these beads over the top of him and in his bath as well. They'll also cover any spots that I want to cover, and I'm going to UV the hell out of it. And then pour more glue over him. Of course, I'm doing the beautiful spider webby thing that I like to do, where I pull the tacky glue from one spot to another and let it stream everywhere, because this is like the gunk and the wet and the slime and sludge that he's just climbed out of, and bits of weed with this moss that is still stuck to him with all the slime and what have you, and oil and that he's just swum through. And again, the moss hides any spots that I want it to. And you know what? We need a rubber duck. And he fits pretty good. The arms are sort of coming over a little bit, but I'm okay with it. The shower head was too short, so I lengthened it with some metallic type straw. And I've just put something in to let it dry while I glue it in place. Some more UV UV resin, over the top of my picture of sailboats, and that will give me a glassy finish. I'm making a plant here. I've taken some moss, a matchstick covered in glue, and a few pieces of plastic plant over a nice big bead. So I've got a lovely flowering plant in our submarine bathroom. because plants. Must have plants. Nice. I think the plant looks lovely next to the clock. I want to accentuate the yellows of the clock though, because I've got the clock and I've got the rubber ring. So I borrowed a little piece of fabric off a friend and wet it down with some water and some PVA glue to give it some weight, because material in a miniature size is too stiff and doesn't look quite right. This will weight it down and keep it into place. I'll use some macrame cord to tie around the rubber ring and hang off one of our little hooks there. Pretty cool that the rubber ring has rubber duckies on it too, and the octopus is holding the rubber ducky. It's all coming together. And then we've got the yellow of the clock, and a double-sided sticky will put my sailing boat painting in place. I settled around there, but I kind of wish in hindsight I put it above the hook. Live and learn. My rubber ring wasn't sitting quite right, so I used another double-sided sticky to hold it against the wall, because again, the weights are different in miniature in real life than compared to real life. Let's glue a few things into place. And we're nearing the finish line, people. Thank you for staying with me so far, and please hit that like button because it really, really does help. And I love doing this. I want to keep doing it. Alright. Little octopus is in his bath, in his bathroom, and we're ready for the glamour shots. Thank you for watching this video from Out of the Blue Artistry. I'm Tanya, and I just want you to know that I appreciate you, and please go do something creative. It will be good for your soul and your health and your mental health, and it's fun. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.